Can the Pokemon Empire be dethroned? That is the question that we are looking at today. And I feel like it's a really good time to look at it because you have all these games that get labeled as Pokemon clones. I mean, you think Power World, Temtem, this game Kardmi. You have countless other games on the mobile app stores that are like Pokemon. I used to cover one very briefly. I won't even say coverage using a lot of the heavy lifting in that phrase. I played a game called Amican Village that was kind of like Power World on mobile, and in essence, another Pokemon clone. In a time where Pokemon clones are starting to be labeled as what they call Pal-slop, especially after Power World, is Kardmi falling into that category, or is it something special that could even eclipse Pokemon's success, especially on the mobile devices? I don't know. Let's find out. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about exactly what Power World is. I know this is supposed to be a direct comparison between Pokemon and Kardmi, but I want to throw Power World into the mix as well. It's because Power World was the first really successful clone of Pokemon that got a lot of people talking in the modern era, and a lot of people thought, hey, when Power World comes out, this is going to be a great alternative to Pokemon because, the creature design's really good, although some would say derivative. And they had that lawsuit with Nintendo. They had the claims of creating their art with AI, and of course, both of those ended up in Pocket Pair's favor. But as I started to add time into Power World, which I loved the game initially, as I started to put some time into Power World, I quickly realized that it reminded me more and was geared more like Arc than anything. Yes, it had creatures, but again, it was more like Arc than anything. The only thing similar to me then, when it comes to Power and Pokemon, is the attacks that your creatures can learn, honestly. And so I don't really understand the term Pal-slop because I don't really look at Power World as a direct copy of Pokemon. It's not like a one-to-one or anything. It's not even close. They're not even the same genre. But then we go to another game called Temtem that released a few years ago, probably about 5 years ago. And it was more in line with a direct clone of Pokemon, but it added some excellent twists to it, and I myself enjoyed Temtem immensely. I mean, our wife used to play it all the time, and a couple of the twists that it added were all battles were 2v2, and it added a stamina system in the battles so that there was no PP system. You couldn't run out of how much to do to move unless you ran out of stamina. And even if you ran out of stamina, you would become what they call overexerted, which is you would hurt yourself a little bit, but you could still use a move as long as you had some stamina. And then you'd have to rest the next turn. They had what they called synergies. So if you threw out two Temtem and they were synergized together where they got a buff where, like, example, one gets a buff if you have a grass type on the field. That was an excellent twist that Pokemon has not done. Maybe they've done it since then. I don't know. I'm not familiar. I'm not a hardcore Pokemon gamer anymore. I used to be growing up, but I'm not anymore. I've kind of moved on where I don't really have any interest in playing Pokemon, but I want to play something that I think is better and captures the soul of what Pokemon used to be. So we went through Power World, we went through Temtem. Now I'm going to tell you about Kardmi, because Kardmi is the newest game that I have played that people would label Pal-slop. And I'm going to tell you why that is just not the case. So this game takes more from Temtem than it does Pokemon. It takes that 2v2 style and builds upon it. It doesn't have synergies, but it does have the stamina system that Temtem had, as well as it has something super unique in what they call type reactions. So if you look at Pokemon and you use Thunderbolt, your opponent has the chance of being paralyzed. It's a flat chance, and maybe that chance can be increased. I don't know. But Kardmi does this really unique thing when they call reactions. So, example, you have two Kardmi out. If one uses a water-type move on a target, and then you have a thunder move directly applied to that target afterwards, it would be a guaranteed hit of paralysis, which reduces the target speed and has a 50% chance of causing that target to miss its turn, the next turn. And paralysis is the only one. They are adding Frost with the next update. They also have Burn. They have Confusion. They have several other elements and status effects that are kind of like checkers. I'm in chess, where you have to strategically plan how you're going to enter a battle and how you're going to counter your opponent. And it's a really, really innovative system, and I feel like that's something that's been missing in Pokemon for a long time. When we label everything after Pokemon and after Power World as Pal-slop, we deny innovation. And I don't know about you, but I want to continue to get better and better products that, like I said, capture the soul of a game that I really enjoyed growing up. I think Kardmi is leaps and bounds better than Pokemon in its current state. I look at Pokemon, and the only thing that draws me to Pokemon is some of my original favorite Pokemon from like the first 3 generations. And everything after those first three generations, in my opinion, they just went downhill. The laziness took over Nintendo, and the character designs weren't that good. The creature designs, the story, the games seem to always release a buggy mess. Optimization is horrible, and you're paying $50-$60 out of the box for these games. And what's crazy is Kardmi is a mobile game that's available on mobile iOS, in some regions iOS, Android, and PC. Completely free to game to play. Yet, it doesn't crash. It looks beautiful. And it doesn't lag. There's no... It's not a buggy mess. It's crazy how they can seem to develop a game on an engine better than a billion-dollar company in Nintendo. I need someone to explain that to me. I don't want... I'm sure I'm going to have some Pokemon stands in my comment section coming at me and be like, oh, you don't understand. I don't need that. If this tiny team over at 7 Pirates can make such a high-quality project free to play, there's no excuse for Nintendo not to continue making innovative and high-quality games in the monster-taming genre. I just don't understand it. I think it's super important to preface this so that no one gets confused or twist what I'm trying to say. Kardmi is not going to overnight overthrow the titan that is Pokemon. Pokemon has existed for 30 years. They have esports, books, movies, shows, conventions, games, of course, trading card games, spin-off upon spin-off. I'm not naive. I'm not saying that can all just crumble and will go away. What I'm saying is this game has probably the best potential of any Monster Tamer game that I've seen in my adult life. That has real potential of becoming a respectable and well-known alternative to Pokemon. And I think that's fantastic for the genre, because if you just sit back and let Pokemon dominate the genre, you're never going to get innovation. You're never going to get anything more from Nintendo than complacency, because they feel like they own the genre and then no one can touch them. I just feel like this is a great step in the right direction, because not only is it a great game, but it also will breed competition where we will get better Pokemon products out of this. So there's no reason to label things as Pal-slop or Pokemon slop or what have you, when the end result is going to result in you as a Pokemon fan getting better content, and then me as a Kardmi fan getting better content as well. The difference is, so one of us will be playing for free and the other will be paying $50, $60 per game, per title. Which, I mean, if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. But what no one can deny is that Pokemon built the foundation, and Seven Pirates and Cardme have seen that foundation and built skyscrapers on top of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.